He was discovered alone, slumped in his armchair, no signs of trauma, no calls for help, just an eerie silence. A 71-year-old widower, still gripping a towel, his face frozen in a look of bewilderment. The cause? A sudden cardiac arrest. As a men's health specialist, I've encountered this tragic scenario too often: a private morning routine, a familiar act, and a catastrophic outcome. Sadly, he's not an isolated case. Every year, thousands of older men face serious medical emergencies: heart attacks, prostate flare-ups, dizziness, or dangerous blood pressure spikes shortly after morning masturbation. Most never suspect this routine could be the culprit. What felt safe and natural in their 30s or 40s can become a hidden risk at 60, 70, or beyond. Aging transforms the body. Circulation slows, hormones fluctuate, and the heart grows more vulnerable. A habit that once brought relief can now strain your system in unexpected ways. I'm Dr. James Carter, a urologist with over 30 years of experience supporting aging men across America. I've had raw, honest conversations with men grappling with shame, fatigue, or confusion, and I've witnessed how careless morning masturbation can quietly erode vitality, confidence, and health over time. Habits formed decades ago, often in youth, can backfire as we age, stressing the heart, disrupting the prostate, and depleting testosterone. No one warns men about these changes, but I'm here to break that silence. In this video, I'll reveal the 5 most dangerous morning masturbation mistakes men over 60 are making, explain how each harms your body, energy, and longevity, and share practical steps to protect your health and peace of mind. The final mistake is one even doctors rarely address, yet it's behind many subtle declines. Older men experience low drive, emotional instability, and fading confidence. If you're ready to take charge of your well-being, type 1 in the comments. If you're skeptical, type 0, so I can tailor my guidance to your needs. Let's start with the first mistake, one that's silently taxing the most critical muscle in your body, your heart. Mistake 1: masturbating during the morning surge. He described it as his morning anchor. Wake up, stretch lightly, then take a few moments alone to start the day. It felt comforting, like a ritual that brought calm and focus. But what he didn't realize, and what many older men overlook, is that this habit was quietly wearing down his heart. As a urologist, I hear this story too often. "I thought I was doing everything right, doc." The reality is, morning masturbation can pose risks for men over 60 due to a phenomenon called the morning surge. This is a natural spike in blood pressure and heart rate that occurs as your body transitions from rest to activity, preparing you for the day. For younger men, this surge is no issue, but for those over 60, especially with mild heart conditions, high blood pressure, or even silent cardiovascular issues, it's a vulnerable window. Masturbation involves physical exertion, muscle tension, breath holding, and adrenaline spikes that can significantly strain your cardiovascular system during this time. I've worked with men who felt inexplicably drained, experienced chest flutters, or crashed by mid-morning without connecting the dots. The link? Masturbating before their bodies had time to stabilize. Over months or years, this daily stress can heighten the risk of heart strain, irregular heartbeats, or even sudden cardiac events. It's not an immediate danger, but the cumulative toll can be severe. One patient, a 69-year-old retired teacher, told me he felt foggy and heavy after his morning routine, but chalked it up to aging. When he delayed his habit by 45 minutes, his energy and clarity returned. To avoid this, give your heart time to settle after waking 30 to 45 minutes of light activity like walking, sipping water, or sitting in sunlight can make a world of difference. Timing is critical, but the next mistake affects another vital area: your energy, blood sugar, and brain function. Mistake 2: masturbating on an empty stomach. A 67-year-old patient sat in my office, visibly perplexed. "Every morning, doc, I feel shaky, like I've run a marathon before breakfast. It's getting worse, and I don't understand why." When I asked him to walk me through his routine, he hesitated, then admitted to starting most mornings with self-pleasure before eating, moving, or even drinking water. This is a common oversight that's draining older men's energy, triggering blood sugar swings, and leaving their brains starved for fuel. When you wake up, your body is running on empty after 8–10 hours without food. Your blood sugar is at its lowest, and your brain and muscles are desperate for energy to function. Masturbation, with its elevated heart rate, muscle contractions, dopamine surge, and subsequent hormonal dip, demands significant resources your body simply doesn't have yet. The result? Many men feel foggy, unsteady, or emotionally off-kilter afterward. Some find themselves needing a nap by mid-morning. Others struggle with focus or irritability throughout the day. They blame age, stress, or just feeling off. But often, it's this simple mistake: asking your body to perform a demanding act without giving it the fuel to recover. For older men, particularly those with insulin sensitivity, prediabetes, or metabolic changes, these blood sugar dips can lead to dizziness, mood swings, or, in rare cases, fainting. One patient, a 72-year-old retiree, described feeling emotionally flat and lethargic after his morning routine until he started eating a small snack first, a handful of almonds or half a banana. This small change stabilized his energy and mood. To avoid this, fuel your body before indulging. A light protein or carb snack, think a boiled egg, a slice of toast, or a few nuts, can prevent energy crashes, protect mental clarity, and keep your system balanced. The next mistake, however, strikes deeper, impacting your emotional health and sense of purpose. 6 o'clock. Mistake 3. Using masturbation as an emotional crutch. "I don't even know why I do it anymore," a 70-year-old retired engineer confessed, his voice heavy with resignation. "It's not really about pleasure. It's just something to fill the quiet, to make the loneliness feel less heavy for a while." This quiet admission echoes in the stories of many older men I've treated. For some, morning masturbation evolves from a choice into a ritual of emotional escape, a way to numb the weight of loneliness, boredom, or a life that feels quieter than it once was. But when self-pleasure becomes your go-to tool for managing stress, emotional discomfort, or the ache of an empty morning, it begins to rewire your brain in harmful ways. Dopamine receptors become desensitized, natural motivation and ambition fade, and your resilience to stress weakens. Over time, you may feel less alive, find it harder to enjoy simple pleasures like a morning coffee, a good book, or a chat with a friend, and rely on this habit not for joy, but for survival. This emotional dependency crowds out healthier coping mechanisms, such as exercise, creative hobbies, or connecting with others. I've seen men who once loved morning walks, gardening, or catching up with old friends become trapped in a cycle of isolation, chasing a fleeting release to dull their feelings. It's not about judgment. It's about recognizing a pattern that dims your spirit and steals your drive. One patient, a 68-year-old widower, found that swapping his morning routine for journaling or calling a family member lifted his mood and gave his days new purpose. If this resonates, pause and reflect. Why am I doing this today? If the answer isn't joy, love, or healthy release, take a step back. Try a small change, reading a chapter, stretching, or even sitting quietly with your thoughts. Break the cycle and rediscover what lights you up. The next mistake, however, targets a deeply personal and often overlooked area: your prostate health. Mistake 4. Ignoring pelvic warning signs. A 65-year-old patient hesitated, shifting uncomfortably in his chair, before sharing, "Sometimes after my morning routine, I feel this strange pressure down there, Not exactly painful, just off. Sometimes there's a bit of dribbling afterward. I figured it's just part of getting older. This is a warning sign I hear far too often, and dismissing it is one of the most dangerous mistakes older men make. Many brush off subtle pelvic symptoms, assuming they're a normal part of aging, but this oversight can lead to serious prostate problems. During sleep, blood flow slows, and your pelvic region becomes stagnant, with fluids accumulating and muscles tightening. Morning masturbation, especially without prior movement, hydration, or stretching, puts undue strain on an already sensitive area. Sitting hunched over, tensing your core, or staying sedentary during the act can compress nerves and aggravate an inflamed prostate. This mechanical stress can spark chronic prostatitis not from infection, but from years of neglect and buildup. Symptoms like lingering heaviness, a weak or slow urine stream, discomfort after orgasm, or frequent nighttime urination are your body's early signals, whispering before they turn into screams. Ignoring these risks chronic inflammation, painful intimacy, or a slow erosion of sexual confidence. One patient, a 70-year-old grandfather, noticed pelvic pressure and a sluggish urine flow, but dismissed it as normal until it worsened. After incorporating gentle morning stretches and drinking water before his routine, his symptoms improved significantly. To avoid this, prepare your body first. Try light yoga, a short walk, or deep breathing to open your pelvic area and improve circulation. If symptoms persist, don't hesitate to consult a doctor. There's no shame in protecting your manhood. Your prostate doesn't need perfection, it needs attention, and the sooner you listen, the more vitality you preserve. The final mistake, though, cuts even deeper, threatening the core of your masculinity and connection. Mistake 5. Over-Reliance on fantasy or pornography. He looked away, his voice barely above a whisper. It started as a quick thing in the morning videos, images, old memories. But now, when I'm with my partner, it's like my body doesn't know how to respond. I feel numb. This 66-year-old patient's story is one I've heard from countless men. Many older men fall into a pattern of turning to the same adult content or repetitive fantasies every morning, unaware that it's rewiring their brains in damaging ways. As testosterone naturally declines and physical sensitivity shifts with age, this habit becomes particularly harmful. Your brain begins to associate arousal with artificial, stimuli-exaggerated videos, predictable fantasies, rather than the warmth, touch, or emotional closeness of real intimacy. This neurological shift can make it harder to respond to a partner, not because you've lost interest, but because your nervous system is conditioned to expect something else. Over time, this disconnect erodes not just sexual performance, but confidence, identity, and the quiet joy of being fully present with someone you care about. I've worked with men who function fine alone, but struggle in real moments, feeling detached or emotionally numb. The longer you rely on fantasy, the more your natural arousal system atrophies, fading so gradually you barely notice until it's taken something precious. One patient, a 64-year-old business owner, rekindled his sensitivity by cutting back on morning videos and focusing on physical sensations, breathing deeply, feeling his body, staying present. Within weeks, he felt more connected to his wife and himself. To avoid this, reconnect with your body without screens or scripts. Try mindfulness during your routine. Focus on touch, breath, and sensation rather than external stimuli. Your desire is still there, it just needs space to resurface. This isn't about quitting cold turkey, it's about rediscovering real, meaningful connection. Conclusion: reclaim your mornings, reclaim your vitality. After 4 decades of working with men over 60, I've seen a pattern that breaks my heart. Men carrying silent doubts, feeling isolated in their private struggles, wondering why their bodies no longer feel like their own. No one told them how aging would change their needs, or warned them that a once safe habit could become a risk. But hear this, your body isn't broken, it's simply different, asking for more care, smarter timing, and greater awareness. These 5 morning masturbation mistakes: indulging during the morning surge, on an empty stomach, as an emotional crutch, ignoring pelvic warning signs, and over-relying on fantasy air rooted in biology, not morality. They impact your heart, brain, prostate, and connection to the world around you. You deserve mornings filled with clarity, strength, and a sense of ownership over your body, not fatigue, confusion, or regret. The good news? Small, mindful changes can transform your health and well-being. Wait 30-45 minutes after waking to let your heart stabilize. Eat a light snack to fuel your body. Reflect on why you're engaging and seek healthier emotional outlets. Stretch or move to protect your prostate. Focus on real sensations to rekindle natural arousal. Take one step this week. Maybe it's a morning walk, a conversation with a trusted friend, or a moment of mindfulness. You're not alone, and you're not past your prime. You're entering a chapter that rewards intentional care with renewed vitality, confidence, and peace. If this message resonates, type 1 in the comments to let me know you're with me. If you'd like to support more content like this, consider a small donation to keep this channel going. Insert link. Thank you for staying. Your commitment to your health speaks volumes about the man you are. Let's reclaim your mornings together.